If you're the sort of person that would like to have more clarity on the facts surrounding climate change, then this book is probably for you. This is How to Avoid a Climate Disaster by Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates is a notoriously well-read person, and through his philanthropic work, he's focused a little bit more on climate change. One of the things I really enjoyed about this book is breaking down some of the jargon that feels like it's interchangeable when we talk about climate change. For example, 100% renewable and net zero emissions. I always felt like these were kind of interchangeable terms, but I didn't realise that they're not mutually exclusive. Just because you have one doesn't mean you've got the other, and vice versa. Now, this book is broken down into a couple sections. One of them is 5 areas where we produce the most amount of emissions. And some of these areas I hadn't even considered when it comes to the debate on climate change, and it is a debate. That is, making things like cement and steel, which are one of the top contributors. Electricity, which we probably all know about. Growing things, more in the same. Transport, and heating up and cooling things down. Now, those areas make up the vast majority of the emissions on climate change, and through each section, Bill takes you through what we already know, what we're currently doing, what's good, and what innovation we need. Now, before I read this book, I felt like we had most of the answers, just more solar panels, more wind turbines, that sort of thing. I didn't realise how much innovation is still needed just to get us from where we are now to zero. The good news is that a lot of that innovation is on the horizon, but some of it still needs to be created. And equally, a lot of the innovation could take us in different directions. For example, things like liquid fuels could make a lot of the renewable energy we do at the moment less valuable. One of the things I found perhaps the most frustrating but the least surprising is what individuals can do to stop climate change. Now, aside from completely changing your life, how you commute to work and what you eat, it feels like there's not a massive amount you can do that's tangible. But through reading the book, I got a couple of good ideas for little changes that I could make that aren't expensive, relatively, and aren't going to take up a massive amount of my time. But I would probably recommend this book to a different audience. I would recommend this book to the people that feel like they want to do a little bit more on climate change, just to be a little bit better educated when it comes to the whole topic. Because I feel like most people are already making little changes, subtle changes, that make a big difference when they add up. So if you want to have a bit more clarity around climate change, what it actually means, what can actually be done, and to provide a bit more insight when conversations come up, then this is probably the right book for you. So that is How to Avoid a Climate Disaster by Bill Gates.